So I just came out of the FNAF movie. That was a movie. Just spoilers right away. I'm sorry, but I just have to get it out of the way. What was that ending? What in the was that ending? What? Excuse me? And sorry if you hear any background noise. I'm literally like in front of the theater. I have to sit here for a second because I'm just honestly shocked. Like that like I know my friends didn't know what to tell me when they came out of the theater, but I'm genuinely like, what? How? Okay, so let me get the positives out of the way. I love the fact that they did the costumes so well. The animatronics themselves are so freaking good. They're always good. Jim's Creature Shop always does a spectacular job translating the animatronics from the game over and making them real. And the sound design is superb. The weight that they give the animatronics every time they walk. And okay, and also the voices were a lot better than I thought they were gonna be. I really thought Megan Fox was gonna phone it in, but she legitimately sounded like Chica, like Toy Chica. I'm kind of shocked. She was like, oh, okay, that's a good voice. Matt Pat did not even sound anywhere near close, Matt Pat, but like honestly, if they didn't reveal that was Matt Pat, there was no shot I was gonna guess. And then Kellen, if I'm saying his name right, I forgive me, Kellen Geoff is it's literally just Freddy from Security Breach. It's the same voice. At some point it changes a little bit so it sounds a little more a different type of Freddy, but it's legitimately just glam rock Freddy, which I was just like taken aback by. But god, this was now I can't avoid the rest of it, but it's literally just what? The movie? When we got to the past scene or Vanessa's dream, where we see from her lens what William Afton was like in the past and how he terrorized her, just locking her in as his child. You're supposed to carry on my legacy, like this and that, this and that. There's another thing I want to talk about, but I'll get to that when I get to that. But that part was really well done because it like the first movie did the same thing too. It kept building up. And so something I completely forgot to mention, specifically here based on Vanessa's dream sequence, it only happens one time, and I just got mentioned by Mune that it never happens again, and that was supposed to be Vanessa letting go of William for like the rest of the movie. And I thought that she was still struggling with it, but no, this is just where it ends. Like she doesn't struggle with William again, and it's like, what? How? You needed like to try again like you did for the first movie, where Mike tries multiple times in order to like fully accept that Garrett is gone and he needs to take care of Abby. The same thing should have happened here. Anywho, back to the original recording until I had to come back in to remember something I immediately forgot from the movie. Like the buildup was really excellent, at least to me, like as a fan watching it. I'm like, oh, I can see all these cool things being done in a movie format, and like I feel something. I feel like tension, like the story, the stakes are building up. And especially that past scene where we see William at his prime just absolutely terrorizing Vanessa. I love that. And dude, baby, like we get freaking sister location just randomly dropped. Like, what? Excuse me? Like a sister location is gonna happen after there has to be a FNAF 4, or I guess that was technically 5, but anyway, like it has to happen now, I guess, because baby's there. Just literally. Also, before I forget, I don't want to forget, Afton was one of the best parts of the movie as well. The fact that they can make somebody in a ridiculous rabbit costume absolutely terrifying and like, be an absolute menace, like impose something in me. I can feel something from seeing him like act the way he acts, and like nonchalantly just like chasing children down and like hunting them down. That's so sick. I really love that they capture Afton so well, and especially Matthew does a fantastic job like in and out of the suit. Oh my god. Like, I'm so shocked that the animatronics are so accurate, by the way. I have to jump back to that, but because it was literally as if somebody put the 3D model IRL. It's insane how well done these costumes and like animatronics are. That's the one thing I can always praise when you see the movie in action and these animatronics walking around. It's like, man, this is real. They made it real. I'm so shocked by that. And again, like I was really digging the build up. Like, we get to see what they were doing in their lives, like trying to move on from past events, Abby not being able to move on. So this part was weird, I have to add, because I thought Abby was gonna have difficulties moving on, and that was gonna be the main plot point of the movie, or like one of the subplots of the movie, I mean. But what ended up happening was, in order to make certain things happen in the movie, they introduced the teacher character, which they dedicate a large amount of screen time to make you hate the guy, so then it's set up for a kill later on. But because of that, Abby's depression or deprivation of her friends isn't really addressed again until, like, I guess the end. So, like, to me, it feels like they had two separate plot points for this, and then they never really wrote or like rewrote around that, if that makes sense. It's just a little confusing for me. And by the way, Abby, Vanessa, and like the actors are superb. Like, just straight up, everybody that they brought in, love them. And especially like when they do little comedic bits to lighten up the mood between. Oh, okay. I'm not jumping all over the place, but it's literally like, I'm still mind boggled, but this movie kept a consistent tone throughout. It did like little lighter moments here and there to like lighten up the mood, but it was never like a huge crash downwards like the first movie. And again, I don't mind the fort building scene in the first movie whatsoever, but even I have to admit that like it was building up and then it just immediately did a steep nosedive. It was something so lighthearted for like a big while. And again, I liked it, but like in contrast to the movie, it's insane how like different those two scenes are. And then it goes back to like, oh yeah, Freddy and the gang are haunted. Like, but this time around, they kept it consistent. Like, there was actual scares. Like, they were trying to scare you this time. Now, of course, you know, it's a little ridiculous when you see the animatronics walking around, but it, you know, sometimes they did. Like, by far, the best part of this movie was the puppet, like the marionette, Charlie. And I think also the worst part, but we'll get to that again. But that was like the best part, because when she took hold and just, they were like inside wearing somebody as a suit, that was insane. It was literally like, okay, so the puppet, am I missing lore here, by the way? Can the puppet just do that? I didn't know it could. Yeah, those were the best tension-filled scares, I guess, where the puppet actually just gets to be scary, because I think that's one other good thing the movie has, that the animatronics get to not just stay in Freddy's. The puppet can really go terrorize, specifically the people that they wronged. I was kind of digging that part, but then, man, I don't know, because it was, okay, I need to get to the last part. I'm sorry, but like immediately, it gets to the end, and the climax of the movie, I don't know what to think. Like, you made Michael Afton the villain and separated Mike Schmidt from Michael Afton, so they're two separate characters now. Like, I get that they're gonna be different. The movies aren't gonna be one for one the game or anything, but to me, it was more impactful that Vanessa was chosen at random because she was easily corruptible and like easily manipulated, gaslit, brainwashed, whatever. And then, by the way, they somehow managed to shoehorn that in by the puppet taking a hold of Vanessa at the end. So technically, security breach Vanny is a thing, so that's probably gonna happen, but because Charlie was changed to like okay, listen, before somebody gets on me, I know Remnant can be both Agony and just the other regular one I don't remember right now, but that's the type of raid, and like that's the type of Remnant that took a hold of the puppet. It was the Agony part of the Remnant, which is very powerful and I guess allows the puppet to take a hold of people and able to like puppet them. But why Charlie in the game knew that her killer was Afton, or at least it feels like she realized it and she was able to help people or help kids be able to move on or get like some sort of justice by putting them in the suits and eventually tracking down Afton. Now, I feel like that can still happen, I'm sure, but I feel like it doesn't have that same impact because Charlie is just a very angry spirit and she just wants to kill adults. I don't know how to feel about that change because that made things personal. And it can still be personal, but it doesn't feel like they're going in that direction. It just feels like they're gonna put Charlie to rest in the third movie. It'll be a third movie because I saw Springtrap, by the way. Fucking awesome. I was waiting for that. Springtrap looks amazing. I can't wait for the third movie. FNAF 3 is like my favorite thing in the world. Very unpopular opinion, I think. But I love FNAF 3. FNAF 3 was like the first game I really got into and was able to finish like front to end. FNAF 2 was technically the first one I played, but I only got through the first night. I couldn't do anything else. So yeah, small lord bit about me, I guess. I technically maybe didn't get a legal copy of FNAF 2 and I never finished it. And the one video I recorded on FNAF 2 is lost media because I don't have it. I wish someone could find it because it was so bad. I kind of want to find it again. Who knows? But anyway, I feel like they're gonna solve everything in 3, or at least the majority of it. And they even put Henry here, and this is gonna talk about the post-credit scene, but like the post-credit scene, at least the last one, where it's not really a scene per se, it's more like post-credit audio log, I guess, where he's talking to Mike and then he gets kidnapped, I'm assuming by the puppet, or the puppet finds him, aka Vanessa. I don't know if he gets killed or not. It feels like they may be doing that because at this point, what aren't they gonna change? They already changed Michael into a villain. And by the way, that kind of takes away the impact of Michael too, because again, it was personal. He wanted to do better. He wanted to avenge his brother. He wanted to do right by his brother and do better by taking down his father, the cause of all of this. He was personally atoning for his sins. Now, I feel like that can't happen. They kind of just split that into two separate things, where like Mike never really got past his rebellious phase or like his, just asshole phase. And he's just a villain. So then Mike has all the good traits where he wanted to do right by his brother and do better and find his killer. That's already resolved, I guess. And movie Mike will finish the job in 3. Well, I don't know at this point because I don't know what they might do because they changed the order of events. Vanessa wasn't even supposed to be here. I think I would have accepted it if Vanessa was the only child and they gave Vanessa a purpose, because in the end, Security Breach doesn't really do anything with Vanny or Vanessa. So it would have been, it would have given Vanessa something to do. But now it's like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. What are they doing? And then Mike only shows up for like the last, Michael only shows up for the ending and then reveals himself, blah, 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 this and that. He can apparently control the animatronics because he says like, oh, crush them all. Like, okay, so what, are you in cahoots with Charlie? Or are you, what are you doing? He literally just shows up and then disappears. Nobody goes after him. What the hell is going on? I don't know. I don't know what to think. Even if I give it time, I don't feel like that was a good change. Like, sure, like maybe I'll come to accept it, but I don't think that was wise. I think that was one thing that you should have kept. Maybe given that to Vanessa, now that you separated Mike into a separate character that has nothing to do with the Aftons, Vanessa should have been the one to put her father into the ground, like burn everything, finish everything off. She should have been the one. But now she's just Vanny. I'm guessing that's what they're gonna do. Like, I just feel like they needed to give Michael something to do, and they wanted to bring it back, but they didn't know how or what to do with him, so they just gave him like a villain role. I don't know, it just feels like that makes him more shallow and takes away the impact of what his original character was. I don't think I like that change. I'm sorry. That is wild. I kind of like that Vanessa was like put into the movie and given a role, but now it's like, what the is Vanessa gonna do? Again, it's literally flabbergasted the movie. I can't believe this happened. And then like there was this small thing too where, well, I guess small, but yeah, it is small because it only happens like there, but the movie suddenly like shoehorns in office gameplay into like a movie scene. So like everything that plays out in FNAF 2 or how you would play FNAF 2 happens to Mike while he's trying to shut down the animatronic, which I guess gives him something to do while the animatronics are there. But it's like, did you really need to shoehorn it in? Like, did you really? Like, it was kind of funny because like he puts on like a ridiculous mask to ward off the animatronics. But I don't know. Like, I guess that was fun. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like, I also, like, now in hindsight, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like that final act where everything starts happening, just feels a little too compact. Like, they were trying to do a lot of things, like, okay, so these are what the characters are up to now, and then this is what leads to the animatronics coming out of the pizzeria, and then, like, roaming the streets and everything. But that part, I feel like, was a little too rushed. I feel like it was a little too compacted. I feel like they should have taken time away from the beginning of the movie in order to set up the lore of this movie, because clearly it's different. So if you're doing different lore, actually dedicate time to trying to show it or explain it. Like, obviously I get it because I have the building blocks to make it make sense, but I'm literally just sitting, I'm still here like 20 minutes later. I don't know how to process this. Like, okay, but again, like, to finish what I was saying, I feel like if they're gonna do like these many changes, should have taken that time away. The stuff that they were trying to do, like catch up on like the characters, this and that should have been done a little bit quicker, so then they can focus or at least if you're gonna keep that part of the movie in, extend it like 20 or 30 minutes to be able to explain or like really flesh out the final part or the final two parts of the movie. So like the build up and the climax, because we have the beginning or the setup, but I feel like the buildup and the climax don't really hit as hard. And but like, okay, it's a little conflicting because I feel like the buildup did a decent job, but then the climax just happens, if that makes sense. Like when you sit down to see the movie, it's like things are just happening. What is happening? But like what, like that kind of feeling. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, but it feels like that. And I guess to round it out, I technically like the movie, but do I like it more than the first one? At least for now. Maybe I'll give it some time, but at least for now, I don't think I do like it more. I don't think I like it more than the first one. I think this one is a close second, but there's just a lot of things I don't like that I'm like, why did you change that? Like, why was this? Why? Like, and again, it's not like I hated everything, to be clear. I know it's like 20 minutes in, but, or like about that, but like, to be clear, I didn't hate everything. Again, I liked the build up. I liked to see like, oh, the characters are doing this, but like, I feel like too many, like, specifically, I think they tried to make us hate the teacher or Abby's teacher a little too much, because of course, like it paid off. I hated him and I wanted him like gone, but in the end, did that matter much? No, not really. He just ends up like kaput. But did he really need to like take up as much screen time as he did? Probably not. And again, like the sadness thing could have, like, Abby's depression or deprivement of her friends could have been her main driving force. So she just feels depressed. She doesn't feel the same without them. That could have been a little more powerful than like having a teacher to hate, if that's what they were going for. I still felt, you know, sad by the end when the animatronics just go kaput, the original ones. By the way, I'm probably gonna be in the minority here, but that fight, I know it came out of nowhere, and I was like, what? Okay, that's happening now. But I liked it. I kind of liked it. Not gonna lie, that was kind of gas. Like literally seeing Chica throw hands with Toy Chica, I was like, oh, yeah, get her ass. Get Megan fuck. But again, I don't regret buying the movie and potentially seeing a FNAF 3 out of this, but like, I literally feel like it's the FNAF 2 of the movie. Or like, specifically what I'm trying to say is like, it's literally almost bar for bar what happened with FNAF 2 when it came out. Literally like, okay, things are just happening. What the fuck? Why did they change that? Like, why did they take away the doors, add lights, add like a puppet that you had to keep wound up? Um, like, it literally feels like that, but it's the movie equivalent to how FNAF 2 came out and like the reception to it was. It was like, there's withers, there's, the animatronics are just doing shit now. Um, like, I hope you get what I'm trying to say, and I'm pretty sure like some people will, like especially the people that played FNAF 2 originally, like way back then. You know how I feel and what I'm trying to say. That's literally it. This is what this movie feels like. I'm sure it'll get appreciated later on, but there was parts that I liked, just like FNAF 2, like the Wizards. I loved that they were just like, they actually tried to do more horror this time around. The sound design was fantastic. The animatronic design, just translating them from the game to the movie, superb, absolutely superb. Same thing with the game, like the animatronic designs, like, oh my god, they're that, like, you didn't need to go this hard, but I like it. And especially like how absolutely horrific Withered Chica looks. Like, I'm kind of sad too. We didn't get to see a lot of the Wizards. We got to see like a ton of toy animatronic footage, but the Wizards kind of got shafted. Like the end, they do stuff, but again, it's towards the end. Like they don't really get a chance to shine, and that's kind of frustrating because I like the Wizards. They're like absolute, like the freaking scale on them compared to like a human, insane. I would have loved to see more of that happen, I guess. But like, I guess it was fine for what the scene was trying to do. But I would have personally liked to see a lot more of that. And you can kind of tell this movie really messed me up because I'm like all over the place, like jumping from one thing to the next. But again, I didn't hate all of it. I liked some aspects of the movie, but it's literally, I think it was Five Nights at Freddy's alerts on Twitter. 6 out of 10. I think I'd give it a 6.5. It really just feels like, no, Sonic Forces was more disappointing, but it feels like, it wasn't mediocre because it was actually trying. It feels more like a 7, if that makes sense, like a 6.5 to a 7, just like balancing that line. At least to me right now, that's what it feels like. I recommend watching it because you guys can like it more than I did. I might have to see it again, but that's how I feel right now. Oh shoot, that this movie is so difficult to talk about. I definitely tried. If I didn't get it in 20 minutes, I definitely tried. I don't know, man. Like, it's literally like, oh, I know what to compare it to. Sonic Superstars. Sonic Superstars, I was literally enjoying the levels and running through them. But as soon as you got the bosses, which in this case was the climax, it's like, whoa, these bosses. That's what it felt like. It's like, I like half of it, but then the other half, it's like, I'm not sure. Why did they try doing that? I'm still excited for FNAF 3, don't get me wrong, but I'm just a tad more cautious now. Like, I love parts of it. It's just some parts are hard to love or hard to accept. But as a movie, they tried. It was better. Like, they were actually trying to make the craft better. So in that aspect, yes, they did better. The movie was better. Changes wise, I don't think that was better. So the movie was good. It's just not perfect, obviously. I think that's what what I was trying to say this whole time. But I hope through all this rambling, you got what I was trying to say. If I have something else to add, I'm sure I'll add it. But for now, good Lord, I think that's it. And I'm gonna save you a lot of repetition. But if you can, go see the movie. Yeah. Also, remember there's 2 post-credit scenes, so just keep that in mind. I don't know why you would need that information if you're watching a spoiler review, but just in case, I guess.